Good evening, everyone. It is just about that time. It is just about time for tea with TEEDY. And we are on Slide Radio Uncut. It's almost 7 o'clock. Oh, I was waiting for my partner to show up, and there he is. Okay, I sent you an invite. Let's let it do what it does. Yay, it worked. First time. I'm so excited. How are you?
I am fine. How are you?
I am actually pretty good today. Have my moments, but today's a good day.
Great.
Um, yeah. So, okay, everybody, it is time for Tea with TD. You are listening to us on Slide Radio Uncut, or if you want to watch this live, you can watch it live on Instagram. And if you want to see it tomorrow, you can watch it on YouTube on Slide TV Uncut. And today, I'm with my co-host, one of my favorite cousins. I can't just say my favorite cousin.
Uh,
I have to say one of my favorite cousins.
there
I
you
don't
go.
want to get any phone
I
calls.
you don't.
But I'm with my cousin Reginald, and we're going to talk about some stuff today. I'm going to try to share the live with some people if they'll let me. But yeah, so let's talk about um, Diddy, if you don't mind.
Okay. Well, sure. Before we go into it, cuz,
Go ahead.
just want to thank all of our listening audience and everybody who's participated. It's a pleasure to have you, and just buckle up, get your popcorn, and
That's right.
we'll dig in.
Yeah, yes, popcorn and your favorite drink, because I got my water.
Whatever
Look,
that might be.
I got my water.
Me too.
So I'm really not gonna. I'm not gonna ask the question if he did or not because it really doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Um, he's guilty of a lot of things from what everybody's saying, but um, and we can only say these are the things that he's accused of
Mhm.
because nothing's ever been written in stone. Not even the lawsuit
Mhm.
that his ex girlfriend she said guilty as F. Um, yeah, I think he had a lot to do with that too. eBay, I really do, but he's guilty on a lot of things, I believe, but we can only say that he's been accused of these things. Even in the lawsuit that he chose to settle with his
Mhm.
ex-girlfriend, we can't really say he did that either because they settled. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like they settled out of court. So,
Well, let's do this, cuz before we go in, let's do a little background on Sean
let's
Diddy
do
Combs
that.
or Sean Combs. Okay, Sean basically grew up. He was born in Harlem, New York, and basically raised in Mount Vernon. So, for those of you who are in New York, you kind of know the territory. Uh, he later attended college at Howard University in Washington, D.C., after which he worked for Andre Harrell in New York for Uptown Records. He was an intern,
Hmm.
and he's responsible for some of the people you all may know, Mary J. Blige and
Hmm.
Discovering Jodeci, discovered them. So, basically it seemed like he had a pretty bright future.
Yeah, he
Uh,
did.
yeah, so, and like I said, and of course, we don't even have to get into Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
Uh, so like I said, it looked like his future was mighty bright. I think he would have succeeded in pretty much any setting he was in. But
Hmm.
I would say, we were talking last week, cousin, that along with celebrity, oftentimes people don't see the tentacles in the
Hmm.
background that are associated with being in fame. All people see is the person, the artist that's out front. They don't
Hmm.
see all the people that's in their ear, pulling on them, asking them to do things, favors, money being exchanged. And then the person who's really up at the top, the puppeteer, you never see their face.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody sees all the money that Diddy's made or Sean Puffy Combs, but but whoever's over him, they don't see their face. And God knows only the gross amount of money that they made off of him.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, he may have did whatever his dirt is, but how many cases out there are there of celebrities who aren't even talked about? And for the sake, last week we said something, and all of a sudden the podcast went down. So let's be
Yes.
discreet. Let's just say them folk,
Yeah.
okay?
Well,
Them
yes.
folk.
But you know what? I'm going to say this too, though, because
Yeah,
we talked about this last week
sure.
with the other thing that we did,
Uh huh.
quad on the set.
Yeah,
I have to say this too.
sure.
If he's guilty,
Uh huh.
half his employees are guilty because they have to know what's going on.
So, Auntie, you know my ex Kevin,
Yes.
his uncle Gene wrote a book, a tell-all book, and he was Diddy's bodyguard. And he told this for years now, since I even started dating Kevin and before that. So over 10 years, he's been telling all the stuff Diddy did, and nobody has listened to him. If you go on YouTube, there's interviews about it. He, like I said, he wrote a book about it. And I messaged him when all this started coming out, and I was like, can I interview you on my podcast? But unfortunately, he can't because of all the legal stuff. He's a
Mm-hmm.
witness, so he's not able to talk about anything anymore.
Well, it's funny because we constantly want to say, well, this person is guilty of this. Just like, okay, I'm just going to say it like this. Just like with R. Kelly, we know he did some stuff,
Mhm.
but what about the people that's surrounding him?
Exactly. And that's
I
what.
mean, do they
That,
not have responsibility for this too?
Well,
exactly.
there's a lot of people in this case that are actually not just witnesses. There's a lot of big celebrities that are being named. Like, it's getting ready to probably be a pretty big case. Like, Young Miami from City Girls, she was named as one of his drug mules for bringing peak cocaine, which is ecstasy and cocaine mixed together,
Wow.
from New York or
Wow.
from Miami to New York. So it's a lot of players in this. Jay-Z,
Yeah.
they said he's
Oh yeah,
about to get brought
yeah,
down. Like, they
yeah,
have a lot of, it's a
yeah,
lot. It's a lot
yeah.
coming out.
Well, and I think the sad part is that okay, so there was a girl,
Hmm.
her name is Aubrey O'Day.
Yeah,
She was in one of the
she's sorry.
groups, and she said that he agreed to give them their royalties or whatever back, or so they could
Hmm.
start collecting.
Hmm.
But he said they had to sign a, a NDA, non-disclosure agreement,
Hmm.
and they can't talk about it.
Hmm.
So she said it doesn't. I mean, but don't most of these people that have money like that, don't they require people to have to sign
Well,
those?
here's how it goes. Do you mind me interjecting, guys? Here's how it goes. And like you said, it's what they call a gag order.
Yes.
Basically, here's the situation. I heard you're all familiar with the comedian Eddie Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
He said one time, he said nobody's going to get out of this thing clean. You know, if you notice, all the comedians, Red Fox
Yeah.
broke before he died. Richard Pryor broke and and coked out and died, drug addiction. And I mean, we can
Mm-hmm.
just keep going on and on and on. What's the guy that Belushi? The
Yeah.
Belushi brothers actually died, both of them. I'm just saying, and the list continues to go on and on. Nobody gets out of this thing clean. And the
No.
thing of it is when you're that celebrity and you get all that money and notoriety and fame, let's say when you indulge in things that you shouldn't do because you get so big and you think you can do anything and not be
Yeah.
accountable, trust me,
Yeah.
somebody is taking note. Even if
Well,
you
okay.
think you're
So
doing it in the dark, somebody's taking note of that. And if, let's say, come the day when they ask you to do something and they have leverage against you, if you don't want to do it, they're going to use that to throw back in your face and say, oh, I got
hmm
this on you. I got that on you.
So I always have this theory too that at some point you've made somebody mad. So
Sure.
I feel and from the very beginning I felt like, who did he make
Mm-hmm.
angry? Well, then I was on the internet, and there's Uncle Luke had said had
Uh-huh.
did an interview, and they had it made into a TikTok
Uh-huh.
where he talks about how um Diddy sued this alcohol company,
Mm-hmm.
a big one,
Ciroc.
huh?
Well, I know Ciroc.
Yeah, he sued the alcohol
Right.
company because he
Right.
claimed that the alcohol company was discriminating against his vodka and his
Uh-huh.
tequila, and uh, making it like an urban alcohol instead of just a everyday tequila or anybody's tequila,
Right.
anybody's vodka.
Mm-hmm.
And he sued them, and they settled out of court. And I think that was last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then now this,
Mm-hmm.
and there. I mean, I was really surprised because there was a gentleman that's also suing him. There's a man that's suing him
Mm-hmm.
as well, and said that he groomed him, that he tried to groom him
Mm-hmm.
for Cuban Gooding Jr. Rodney Jones, he had said that he felt like he was being groomed for Cuban Gooding Jr. because they were on a yacht and he was sitting down talking to him, and all of a sudden Gooding started groping him.
Mm-hmm.
And so he suing Puffy for $3 million.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sorry, $30 million, and says that he made advances towards him and sexual assault and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, at some point, because if you look, I also looked up some stuff, and he was accused recently also of raping and drugging and creating a sex tape on another woman
Mm-hmm.
in 1991.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, don't you think, and I hate to say it like this,
What's that?
but don't you think that at some point people would just stop going over there? I mean,
Well, look at power. Power is an intoxicant because
yes.
power draws you in like a moth to a flame. And a lot of people aspire wealth, and they aspire fame and notoriety. And
Mm-hmm.
he's dangling it in front of them like, a carrot. And he's saying, hey, come on. I'm up here and I can bring you up with me. Now, mind you, everything in life has good and bad consequence. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's always that duality of good and evil. And I'm not going to stockpile Sean Puffy Combs because I know that there's somebody, a puppeteer, who's operated at a much higher level than him that
Yep.
that you're never going to see. And here's the situation also, because if you allow me to go in and
I'm gonna
look
let you just
for
run with this. Go ahead.
okay.
We ain't going
Thank
nowhere.
you.
I
All
ain't
right.
going nowhere.
Okay. Basically, here's the situation. And earlier you were talking about the girls, the lady's name's Cassie Ventura.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one who filed a federal, I believe it was, charges against him, and they settled out of court. But of course, federal. How does that go to federal court? I mean, that's one of the higher courts. I think a step down from the Supreme Court. Who lawyered her up with that kind of money and those billable hours to come into a federal court to file against him? Somebody with long money, which
Well,
she didn't have.
exactly, and that's the point. Is that is someone? It makes you think. Did
Mm-hmm.
someone help her do this?
Of course,
Because again, he's done made this alcohol company mad.
yes.
He sued
Mm-hmm.
them, so they're not happy with him.
Of course not.
So, and they settle out of court. Now he settles out of court with her,
Uh-huh.
and then you have the feud between him and 50 Cent.
Right.
And now 50 Cent, well, because Mr. Jones mentioned 50 Cent's ex in his lawsuit,
Mm-hmm.
saying that she was basically a prostitute,
Mm-hmm.
that and I think also ran drugs too. So now he's saying, you know what? I'm getting my 12-year 12-year-old son back. I'm getting he's going for full custody of his 12-year-old because he said, if this is what you're doing over here, then why are we doing this, basically?
Wow.
And I it's not hard for me to believe because nothing that, I hate to say it like this, but nothing that celebrities do usually does surprise me. Now, when they do really good deeds for people, then that sometimes surprises me. But stuff like this, it really doesn't surprise me like it used to. Because number one, they're human. Number two, like you said, the power has probably went to his head where he believes he's untouchable. Okay. When they raided his homes, they didn't have, I don't think, a warrant for his arrest or anyone else. They just wanted to get the equipment out, what they wanted out.
Okay.
Because he tapes everything, which is a stupid thing to do too. And when are people going to learn that if you tape everything, you're going to get caught easier? I mean,
oh yeah,
I get it. You want, your little trophies and stuff, but the fact that he taped everything. And then they said that the raid came a month after Mr. Jones's accusations of sex trafficking and rape and, the sexual assault and all this other stuff too. So maybe because he settled out of court with Ventura, and because this other case has come up, and because there's another woman, like I said before, who is also trying to sue him for a rape and drugging her and making a sexual tape and showing a pornographic tape and showing it to everybody.
right.
Maybe they're saying, maybe you should look into this, but shouldn't this have been done earlier? Because
whatever you're done, go ahead.
Orlando Brown has accused him of stuff.
Wow.
In his own little way, so did Usher. And we've all seen the tape of Justin Bieber I don't know how to say his name right, at 15 years old, while he's in this uncomfortable position with him. And I think he spent like 48 hours with him or something. But then again, it goes back, like even with Usher, like I think it was Usher that he said his parents gave him guardianship.
Yes.
What is wrong with people? Why are we doing this?
Well, it's stockpiling like they did Bill Cosby. Now, I will tell you this. All of these people stockpiling black men, but they still haven't solved Jeff Weinstein's situation yet.
But isn't he in jail?
No, he died, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
But
okay.
He was supposedly connected with a lot.
Well, he had his own stuff. He did his own stuff.
No, he wasn't alone.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but he did his. Here's the thing. It seems like when one person says he did it, or two people say he did it, then all of a sudden it becomes a multitude of people.
Well,
and some of them are past the laws of they can't even prosecute. Yeah, the statute of limitations is already over. So now,
yes, supposedly he was keeping a log of all his connections and friends and different ones who was doing what he did. Now, supposedly all these people have yet to be revealed. So the thing of it is that people haven't dug into his situation, but they're digging into Diddy's and Jay-Z and all these other people. Who's making that difference, and who's deciding, okay, if they dug into Bill Cosby, why is it Jeff Weinstein's information been presented to the public in terms of all the people connected with him?
They actually made a movie about his. Did you not see that?
Yeah, but they shaped that movie for
of course they did, but the fact is, though, what my thing is that when it seems like when one person says something, or I'll say more than one, maybe two or three, then a whole multitude of people start tattling. But the fact is that as far as Diddy goes, people were telling on him about the crooked things he did a long time ago, even about the deaths of Tupac and Biggie. So
I'm not saying he's got clean hands.
Oh, I know he don't have clean hands. None of them have clean hands.
What I'm saying is that you got to realize who the media, who's putting this out there, and then you're getting a constant injection of basically lynching that man in this day and time in front of the whole world.
Well, because he no longer becomes guilty in a court of law. He becomes guilty in
He's
public
already
opinion.
being tried
So,
in the media,
so
in
yeah,
newsprint, and everywhere else. But I'm saying, what about people who don't look like him? Cuz
yes. Well, there's tons of them though. I mean, look what they just did. I just watched the movie last week
yes,
about the series last week about the people from Nickelodeon.
right,
But the problem that I have with it is, if he's guilty, I mean, if he's not guilty,
allegedly, right,
if he's not guilty,
yes,
he's already been crucified
yeah.
in the court of public opinion.
But I'm saying, look at it. Here's okay. I'm gonna throw you a scenario here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And for our academicians out there, there's a word that's called Hegelian dialectic. Hegelian dialectic, and what that means, I'll break it down. You know what an instigator is? Somebody
Mm-hmm.
sitting back on a chair, rubbing their chin, thinking, "How can I cause trouble?" So what they do is they take one faction over here that could be perceived as good, but maybe sometimes bad, and then you
Mm-hmm.
take another side that you know is bad to the core, and then what you do is you pit them against each other,
Mm-hmm.
and then you watch them. You sit back and you watch them fight. You're seeing a divide and conquer, or in the academic way, they have what's called the thesis and the antithesis. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
then what you do is you come in and say, "Look at how they're acting. Look at those people.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how they're fighting with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna come in and I'm just gonna extinguish all of that."
Yeah,
That's
and honestly,
that's
that's what
what
they
they
pretty much
do with
do
us, Hope,
every
every day. They
time.
play
Hey, hold on for a
us
second. Let me do
against
this little
each
commercial
other.
break. Let me do this commercial break real quick. You are listening to Tea with TD on Slide Radio Uncut, and you can watch it tomorrow on Slide TV Uncut on YouTube. We're talking about Diddy, guilty or not guilty. We don't know. Let me see if I can bring someone up because he keeps flashing me.
Yeah.
So let me just say, as long as you are wanting to enter the conversation, that's fine. We don't do anything perverted or anything like that on my channel. So give me a second and we'll accept you up. We'll try to accept you up. But don't push the button anymore, because if you do, it's going to mess it up, and I'm not going to keep pushing it either. But so, yeah, I mean, we can't say if he's guilty or not. Now, let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
If you were him, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to say turn himself in, because there's no, that I know of,
Mm-hmm.
there is no warrant for his arrest anywhere that I know
Mm-hmm.
of. But if you were him, would you talk to the police, going for questioning, see what's going on? I mean, I know they have their lawyers to do all that,
Mm-hmm.
but would you do it as well?
Well, once you lawyer, first of all, I mean, once you lawyer up, which is what you would want to do, is that you want your lawyer, him or her, to speak on your behalf, because you want to make sure that your rights aren't being violated. Now, you're not going to know all the ordinances and precedents and everything like that. Your lawyer is. So you want your lawyer, whomever they might be, to represent you and speak on your behalf. See,
Yes.
the police, all they are, or the federal agents or whomever, all they are is law enforcement on various tiers. Now, the FBI, they can operate on a federal level, where the police is based upon, the local, so the feds, if they're the ones that raided Puff's home, or Diddy's home, then you still want to have representation, so that they can speak
Mm-hmm.
to your lawyer, and then your lawyer comes back to you and says, okay, this is what they got on you. This is the
Mm-hmm.
evidence. This is what they're presenting. This is what they're saying. These are the people who are, basically validating the evidence. And, this is how things look right now. So, you either sign off on it, or you say, hey, you contest it. Hey, I didn't do that. And then your lawyer goes back and says, hey, my client's saying this and that, so that's pretty much how it goes. So right now they've raided his home. So they had to have something against him pretty strong.
to just go into his homes like that. That's what I
Yeah.
even said too. They had to
What?
have something.
Yeah, they had to
They
have a
had
warrant.
to,
You had to
yeah.
come in and do a raid and go through his home. Now, the question is your lawyer, you're going to want to know, what that evidence
Mm-hmm.
is, that they have. And then you put in a request to get that information. Now, are they going to fully disclose it to you? Who knows? By
Hold on for a
law.
minute, cousin. Z3 Repromotions, I'm not able to let you up. I've accepted your request several times. Do you want to go ahead and write what your question is in the box, in the comment box, and then we'll read it off? You have a comment? Because it's not letting me bring you up. I've tried several times. But it's unfortunate because he has kids and they were there, and even though they're probably adults, they were still there. That's
Right.
still, no one wants to be treated like
No,
that. No one wants to, no one wants to be
no.
rummaged into like that. But obviously they probably knew what they were looking for as well, because it probably didn't take them long to find it. And they found other stuff too. Now, I don't think he's ever been on probation. I don't know. So they said they found some guns, but I mean, if they're registered, that's just guns that are registered. If
Well, because how do you know they didn't plant something?
I can't say they didn't, because
That's
I
what I'm
don't know.
saying. I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't
but
know.
let's say, please, let's be honest. Big brother, I know is listening, but let's say this: it's not that there's never been presidents or situations before where law enforcement or people haven't planted evidence to basically strengthen someone's case.
Yes.
So I'm saying that if he's guilty and he had something there that they were looking for, hopefully that was clearly defined in the warrant. However, if they went in there trying to take him down, and let's say somebody planted something and said, "Oh, this is what we found, this contraband," whatever the case may be, and then they try to say, "Well," he's like, "Hey, that ain't mine," then it's your word against whoever.
Well, I'm going to say this because
Sure.
recently, um, uh, one of the guys from Slide
Uh huh.
um, had asked me to, if I would interview someone that was incarcerated,
Uh huh.
and I haven't done it yet because they haven't contacted him. But I looked up this man's case, and this is why I'm saying this too.
Uh huh.
I looked up this man's case, and there was a famous celebrity that was involved in this. That was semi-involved in this man's case.
Uh huh.
But basically, this man was set up, and as
Wow.
I looked through all different aspects of why he was in prison
Uh huh.
and how he got put in
Uh
prison and what he did and who he did it with. That man was set up. And when I was reading one of the articles, they said they had found his mule, one of his drug runners,
huh.
and for Diddy's drug runners. And the first thing I thought of was they could have set him up so easily, because honestly, the case that I had looked into, I'm not an attorney. I have only been to college for 2 years, but even I
Got
could
common
tell this man was
sense.
set up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, horrifically set up. And
Well, let's say this, guys. Let's say this: the prison industrial complex is a machine. Now, that machine has to stay oiled,
mhm,
greased, and moving. Those wheels have to keep churning. All of those correctional officers have families, bank
mhm,
accounts, credit cards, all the people that work in the prison system, the warden, and etc. Now, they make their living off of inmates and being able to house those cells. So they have to do whatever they can to keep that money train, that gravy train going. So do you think at the end of the day they're not going to do things to entrap you or to pull you over and
oh
jam you up
yeah,
and then
I
say,
mean
"Oh,
they definitely, huh?
I'm just going to say, somebody sitting up there trying to incite you to to obstruct justice." Okay, all
Mm-hmm.
you're doing, they pulled you over, and they don't know why they pulled you. Okay, officer, you know, I was driving the speed limit. You know, why did you pull me over, sir or ma'am? And then they'd be like, "Oh, you look suspicious." Well, what was it about me? What was it about me, or what was it that I did that looked suspicious? Now, you know, mind you, they're pausing and trying to think up something, and
Mm-hmm.
then while you're hopefully using your smartphone to record, and their body cam should be recording unless they turn it off. You know, basically,
Well,
which
yeah,
they're not supposed to, but
but
we know it's been
it
done before.
happens.
So,
Yes, it has.
but basically it's like, uh, something looks suspicious. I think I saw you talking on your cell phone. Now, mind you, your cell phone may have been in the cupboard of
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
It'd be like, oh no, my cell phone is not even out, but let me reach and get it. Now, you don't want to do that. It's a trap because a
Mm-hmm.
sudden move and open up your thing, and all of a sudden they reach for the gun. Boom. You see the trap?
Well, and I get it because, like I said, after I read this
Uh
case,
huh.
and I read, and all I read was articles in the newspaper, from
Yes.
newspapers and internet clippings.
Yes.
But as I read that, I was like, oh my God, this dude was just set
Sure.
up. And who is to say that they're not setting him up? Who is to say
Yes.
that, unfortunately, because I mean,
Yes.
you have to weigh that on both sides. I mean, we
Right.
do know that his hands are not
Sure.
clean about certain things.
Sure.
So we're not even going to pretend.
Right.
But let's just say that this particular thing was a setup. And that's the way it's really looking right now, because unless they find some really hard evidence
Mm-hmm.
that he has done something outlandishly crazy, I
Right.
mean, they're going to have to find some. If he's being accused, if this is
Yes.
because of Mr. Jones's accusations against him and his lawsuit against him,
Right.
there has got to be evidence of that lawsuit inside of that evidence that they took.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? I mean, they may have some people in there last month,
Absolutely.
or last year even.
Sure.
So who knows how long this investigation is really, whatever they're doing has really been going on. But like you said,
Yeah.
before about Miss
Mm-hmm.
Ventura, I mean, how did she get that there so quickly?
Well,
How
if
did
they
she
were
get to?
intimate, well, here's the situation. If they were intimate, and again, like I said, I'm going to say alleged because we don't know one way or another. I'm
Yeah.
just posing a hypothesis. But let's say whoever's gunning for him has long money,
Yeah.
and then they'll say, okay, she was basically in a situation where things got volatile between them two, and then they split up, but she was being vindictive and wanted to get back at him.
Mhm.
That, which, like I said, when you're a celebrity, you don't want to do nothing wrong because whatever you do comes back on you unlike any other because
Oh,
you are out there.
yes.
Not
Yes. Yes.
that you should do anything wrong, but when you do wrong as a
It's really going to be
celebrity,
out there. Yeah.
exactly. So,
And
so I'm just
that's my, I'm
go
sorry, go
ahead.
ahead, cousin.
No, I'm
Well, and
go
that's
ahead.
my other thing as well. I
Uh huh.
mean, people have been accusing him of stuff forever,
Sure.
but now he's getting his house raided.
Well, everybody can't be wrong, but like I said, it didn't seem like somebody cared 10
It,
years ago.
they didn't. They didn't.
But he made
They
the
didn't
wrong person
care when he
hot.
talked about. They didn't care when they sent
Yeah.
little Usher to his house,
Right.
and Usher said when he went to his playhouse or whatever they call, I don't know, it's called Puffy something.
Sure.
But when he went there,
Uh
they asked him, "Would you send your?" Because the guy said, "You're a dad now. Would you send your child?" And he said, "No, no, I wouldn't."
mm.
So in my mind, just you saying no, you wouldn't know, something happened up there. It probably shouldn't have been happening in there.
Yes.
But the fact that you want your career, you can't say nothing, and that's horrible.
It is horrible.
I mean, it's not only horrible because you're afraid. It's not only horrible because someone has got something over your head, but it's also
Right.
horrible that you want fame that much that you will take any kind of treatment.
Well, let's be honest. When Bill Cosby had his situation, we know most of those women came to his room to get down. Let's be honest. But he probably was maybe into something or had some kind of weird quirk where he might have been slipping them, whatever he was slipping them in the drain. But let's like I said, they came there to get down. Nobody's stupid. Okay, they knew what they
Yes.
went to his room for. But like I said, because he sitting up here trying to buy some network and own it,
Yep.
somebody said, we don't want you. Now, mind you, everybody know Bill Cosby had the money to buy it. But they
Yes.
was like,
And
we
everybody
just
knows
don't
it.
want you to have
And
it.
everyone in the industry who
Yeah,
actually knew Bill Cosby
right,
knows if he was capable of doing these things that they said he was doing. And I'm not trying to be
right,
funny, but there were several. Well, I remember when it was all going on, there was one particular comedian, female comedian, who said, "We were all told who not to be alone with."
right.
He said, "You think there wasn't talk about this?" So my thing is, why if everyone listen, if it walks like a duck, it's a duck.
But you know what, Hope? Here's the contradiction. Those folks didn't mind all they little kids licking Jello pudding
Thank you.
off of them. Said, oh, that looks so cute. Oh my
But
goodness.
see, in front of a camera,
Yep.
he's Bill Cosby.
Right.
Behind the scenes, he may have been this person that did those things, and then again, he may not have been.
Mm-hmm.
But he's already went to jail. That part of his life is over.
But 30
But the
years
fact is,
later, 30 years later, when he was doing I Spy with Robert Koch,
thank you.
them
This is
guys
what
was
I
hanging
said. This is
out,
what I
drinking,
said.
throwing it back. You don't think all them people was guilty and stuff?
No,
but you didn't
they
think
were.
they'd
But
bring
this is
them out
the thing
there?
that I've said though. This is what I've always said. This is what
Yeah.
I always said, and especially when it comes to Bill Cosby.
Okay.
As a young
And I'm
man,
not
Bill Cosby
saying he was right if he was doing that. Don't get me
No,
wrong.
but let
I'm
me
not
say
saying
this.
Yeah.
As a young man, Bill Cosby was extremely good looking.
Yeah, he's a
And
handsome man.
and being a celebrity, a black celebrity, in an industry where they've had to go through these things and racism and all that stuff.
Sure.
Being that he was there, do they really? I mean, I'm not trying to be funny.
Nah.
I said this: either Bill Cosby just couldn't have sex, or Bill Cosby just couldn't have sex. Because why does he have to drug why would he have to drug anybody?
Oh, he didn't have to. That man
No,
ran
that's the thing that gets me about these people is the fact that unless you're really into some freaky stuff and you think the woman might say no, why are you having to drug people? Same thing with Diddy. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm not saying he did. But unless he's just into something really, really freaky and he knows that female's gonna say no, why is he having to drug people?
Man, all those wild parties they have out in Hollywood and New York and everywhere where people were just having even Freaknik back in the day that they had down in Atlanta where they was doing everything to everything. That ain't nothing compared to what Caligula did in Rome.
I'm just
man, that
saying,
guy was straight
I don't get the fact that these people have to drug people just to be sleeping with them.
No, he didn't.
Unless they're really just, this is my thing. So-and-so really just don't know how to have sex very well, so they're drugging the women, having them, and that's it.
Yeah.
Or they into some really freaky stuff, and they think that the partner may say no.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because
that's exactly. And I think you
got all kind of money.
Right.
I can't see people just not throwing. I can see women throwing themselves at you. I'm not understanding the whole drugging thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't get that part. That's the part that doesn't.
People sit up there thinking of contriving of all kinds of plans and schemes to kim you up and get money out of you. Women throwing themselves, jumping out.
That's what I'm saying. Women are throwing themselves at these men. Yes. I'm not understanding the whole drug thing. Why are you having? And then,
let's you know how.
Go ahead.
Lets you know how deep that rabbit hole is.
Well, and then the other thing that I don't understand is, and I don't even want to understand this part. Listen, if this man is bisexual and prefers men, I don't really care. That's his business.
Yeah.
The only thing that I stand on is this.
Yeah.
When children are involved.
Yeah.
When you are doing things to children.
Yeah.
This is not okay.
No.
The behavior has to be. There's got to be something wrong with you, because to say I hold this child's career in my hand,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm going to do everything I want to this child. This is a mental thing, that something's wrong with you
Yeah.
mentally, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I have to say, in my opinion, if because there's a little clip of him talking with Usher, Diddy talking with
Uh-huh.
Usher and Kevin Hart's there, and Diddy says, "Well, I remember he was young and we was wrestling it up to get cereal, some kind of cereal," and I'm like, why would
Right.
this grown man be wrestling with a child to get cereal?
Well,
Your
I'm gonna say,
your name is Diddy. At the time,
yeah.
probably Puff Daddy, whatever his name was.
Right.
You got money to go buy some cereal. Why are you wrestling a child for some cereal?
I'm gonna say something here, cuz, and I hope you don't mind me saying it, but I'm gonna say
Go
it
ahead. Go ahead.
pertaining to this. It's gonna get a little deep,
Go
okay?
ahead. Yes.
I don't know how many people out there are biblical, or spiritual, but a lot of this is demonic
Yes.
behavior. And what it is that people open themselves up when they do
Yeah.
drugs, when they play or tamper with children,
Yes.
when they do different things like that. You open yourself up. You open that gateway open for demonic oppression or even possession.
Yeah.
And what it is, especially people, who live, now this is where it's going to get deep. People who live near water,
Mm-hmm.
there's a demonic thing called the marine kingdom. Okay. And places that are near water, if you observe it, that's where they have the most freaky stuff, the most debauchery, and the most just freak stuff. Why? Because you notice like places like Miami
Oh yeah.
and the islands and all those places have the most freakish stuff going. I used to live in South Beach, and I'm telling you, they have something that what's called the Queen of the Coast, which is known in certain parts of the African continent, where they have to deal with a lot of these demonic spirits. Okay, and they say that a lot of places that are near bodies of water, tropical and so forth, have issues more so than other places. With freakish spirits like tampering with kids and molestation and
Mm-hmm.
pedophilia and basically prostitution and all kinds of things that just open the pathway for just all kinds, kind of like the modern day Sodom and
Oh
Gomorrah,
yeah. No, no,
you
definitely. I
know.
understand what you're saying.
But
Yeah.
I know it's out
100%.
there, and like I said, you have to study about it. I'm not going to go into it anymore because I don't know if everyone out there. I don't want to really, you know, eject certain things because again, everybody's not really into that. But I'm just saying that it's just for awareness. That people should not tamper with certain things, like casting spells on people,
Oh my God.
and
Yeah.
like going to these fortune tellers and mediums and different things, because what you do is you open up a pathway to be used, and sometimes those things oppress you or hold you captive, so that
And
you're getting things you don't even know you be like, what's going on?
well, no, because I mean, I can't. I shouldn't really
Yeah,
say it like this, but
yeah,
I'm going to. Obviously, he has some sexual issues going on.
yeah.
But the thing that really disturbs me of all is the fact that he is being. When you look at
Uh-huh.
him, he's been doing this to kids for years.
Yeah,
Now he graduated from kids just doing to even grown-ups and grown. Well, if it's true,
yeah,
even grown men
yeah.
and him have been together, and it's not a problem to me because I'm not homophobic by any means.
No.
It's just that gets me is the fact that whenever people thought he was doing this with kids, no one said anything.
Maybe somebody played with him when he was a kid, because
It could be.
oftentimes that's where the roots come from. Sometimes when somebody
Hey, Lando,
is
go ahead.
basically engaged in that, if you sit down and you counsel with them, if you're a counselor, then a lot of times they say, hey, somebody sexually abused me
Yeah,
when I was or attempted to or put hands on me, and then as a result of which that thing has been embedded in their psyche,
Yeah.
and then they wonder why they're in freakish situations as they're growing
Mm-hmm.
up, or they have a mental bend toward doing things that's just unordinary. And everybody has
Yeah. And
something where someone somewhere something emanates from them, and a lot of that, I know it sounds cliche, but a lot of it goes way back into their childhood and so forth. So it's just sad that all these
well,
things
if
are
you
coming full force today.
and if you look at Justin Bieber, I mean, he's had a lot of issues as an adult.
Yeah,
Who knows what happened for those 48 hours he's been with that man
no
or any
telling.
other adult that's in the industry. There's
Exactly.
all, it's sad because a lot of children, child stars, as
Mm,
they grow up, they have trouble with alcohol, drugs. But who now we're seeing what has possibly went on
yeah,
in their lives as children and as young people. And this stuff isn't funny because you can't tell me that somebody didn't know what was going on.
yeah.
When
It's
Usher talked about his stay with Diddy, he talked about stuff that he saw as a 13-year-old child
mhm.
who should never see these kind of
It's
things.
traumatic. I mean, it's traumatic and it's disheartening. But my thing is, we're the gatekeepers. Who are the people that are supposed to be protecting
That's
you?
what I'm saying. There's no protection. Even hey Lando,
What's
even
happening, good people?
what do you have to say about the subject?
I just want to know why us as black people convict. Sit down. Why do us as black people convict other black people
Well,
before
first of all, we are not convicting
any
anybody.
other race?
I, we're
Excuse
not
me.
convicting anybody. I'm saying that if these things are true, because these are accusations that someone has made, but if these things are true, I just want to know, where were the protectors of these people?
I mean, true or not, you know what I'm saying? We should care about where the protector of our people are. Whether someone's in a bind or not, we should
Right.
care about these things. We shouldn't wait until, you know what I'm saying, we get a very public, rich figure that's black to start caring. That's the
Well,
craziest thing in the world. And then like this is not the only, you know what I'm saying, group of people that's speaking on this. A lot of people speaking on this, so I'm not speaking to, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying,
we know.
mhm.
you guys, and I'm just saying, like, why is that okay to celebrate a black man's
Well,
downfall? I don't
you
care
know
if
what,
he's
bro?
did anything to help us or not. That's just the craziest thing in the world. It just shows, you know what I'm saying, our hate towards each other.
Yeah,
Because the Weinstein
man.
boys, when they
Yeah.
when that crap happened to them, you didn't see white people jumping up and down and making memes and
They
questioning
they
this.
did.
And
They
Right.
that.
did. I
Right.
live in an all white area. Yes, they did. And
Hey.
they
Yeah.
also made a movie about their allegations against him of how he would want the women that were sitting behind the desk to wear dresses, short dresses at that, so he could see in between their legs because there was a camera
What
down there. So they
what that movie?
did.
What's the name of that movie?
Go ahead.
What's the name of that movie?
I have to find it because I watched it. The only reason I know is because I watched it. I'll find it and then I'll let you know.
Okay. Because
Because yeah,
let me. Let
I
me.
watched that movie
Yeah.
and they did. They made a movie and I don't remember what it was called though,
Was
but
it
I
a
did watch
movie?
it.
Was it a movie or was it a documentary
It
or
was
something?
a movie. It was a movie
Okay, so they
because
so they just made money off of it.
yeah,
They
it was
made money
a
off of it.
movie.
Okay.
They made
I
money
mean,
off of it.
yeah. Yeah. Let me
So,
say this. Do you mind me
Go
interjecting when
ahead.
you guys are done? Brother Lando, first of all, I don't disagree with you at all. I think that you got to realize we've all been socially engineered, brother. And they do want this is a divide and conquer technique, of course. I mentioned earlier, Hope, remember when I said Hegelian dialectic?
Hmm.
This is something that they use this in their playbook. And I'm saying them folks for discretion, okay? They use
yeah,
that
yeah,
to get us to lynch our own people. So when they
which is
get to,
crazy.
yes, when they go down or when they're trying to take them down, what they do is they use us as an engineering means to get us to lynch them. So when they get to, yes, when they go down or when they're trying to take them down, what they do is they use us as an engineering means to get us to lynch them. So when they get to, yes, when they go down or when they're trying to take them down, what they do is they use us as an engineering means to get us to lynch them. So when they get to, yes, when they go down or when they're trying to take them down, what they do is they use us as an engineering means to get us to lynch them. So when they get to, yes, when they go down or when they're trying to take them down, what they do is they use us as an engineering means to get us to lynch them. So when they get to, yes, when they go down or when they're trying to take them down, what they do is they use us as an engineering means to get us to lynch them. So when they get to, yes, when they go down or when they're trying to take them down, what they do is they use us as an engineering means to get us to lynch them. So when they get to, yes, when they go down or when they're trying to take them down, what they do is they use us as an engineering means to to take our own people down, like crabs in a barrel, and then that gives them the go away or the leeway to go in and do whatever it is they want to do. Like, look at your own people aren't saying what they're saying about you.
And
You
Yes.
know?
then you see the words that you chose. Use our own people
Yep.
Yes.
to bring us down. You know what I'm saying? As if we're not smart enough today to recognize that. So it's
Right.
not enemy, the enemy.
Yep.
Them people. It's not their fault because they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Right.
It's our fault
Yes.
because we're falling for it.
Yes.
But as he
Still,
said, we've
still
always been
falling for it.
conditioned as a people to go against each other, whether you're light skinned, dark skinned, whether you're rich or
But
whether you're poor. So we
that's no excuse. That's no excuse. That's
I'm
not
not using it for
acceptable.
an excuse, darling. I'm just saying what it is. And we have both said things that he was accused of, because this, like, he was accused by one person, and now you're going to have several more come out the woodwork. I have literally read about him being sued for a crime he's supposed to have committed, so allegedly committed in 1991 or 90 something, against a raping a woman, a college student, and videotaping it and drugging her. So it's like boom, 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 boom. Now comes all these stories when this man has been, quote unquote, if allegedly has been doing these things for years. My question is, why are we only sacrificing the people? Because someone knew. People, there's no way. If he did all this, people knew. So shouldn't they be held accountable as well?
Well, look at all the
See,
crazy stuff that Ozzy Osbourne was doing back in the day. And I'm saying they wasn't saying nothing about him. Not like they're doing this. I mean, that man did some things that, Lord have mercy. I
and
mean,
he
like
ain't the only one. Elvis Presley. There's a lot of them.
Elvis
Oh, he was
Presley,
freaking
a
it.
lot of them. A lot
But
of them.
see, we have to look at it like this too, is that the fact that just this year or just last week, I watched Quiet on the Set about Nickelodeon. Did you happen to see that, Lando? Where
Nah,
they
but
talked about the head
you
producer
said
of
so.
Nickel.
The comment was, go ahead. My bad.
Okay, where the head producer was accused of doing things, and then this guy was accused of molesting some other guy. They're saying it now, but my thing is, what? Don't nobody say nothing when this is going on.
No, they don't. I mean, I know
Hey,
girls.
So,
I know girls who said
Jay,
that they heard of friends that went to rock concerts, hard rock concerts, and
mm-hmm,
then they wanted to be some of the groupies that went back to meet them, and then they went back and they had all these girls grouped in a room and was just raping them and having orgies and stuff. And then,
mm-hmm.
naturally, just because they wanted to be close to them, because they're celebs, quote unquote. And then they just was like, hey, we're just having that closed door room, and it didn't matter whether they were willing or unwilling participants. They was just basically closing and locking the door and just raping all the women in there. And
So
then
Jay
your
said.
word against theirs.
So
yeah,
Jay said
Jay is a different type of person. You know what I'm saying? Like
he said
you're gonna,
there's too many stories. Hold on, he said there's too many stories about
Yep.
him. He was
Yep.
so
accused by a lot of people. He automatically
so
says he's
so
guilty.
exactly. That's weird to me
But
because how are you gonna convict someone without proof?
well,
Well,
and even if we look at his ex-girlfriend, we can't even say he did that because he was not, because they settled out of court. That doesn't mean he did it.
no.
That just means he didn't want to deal with it. But
Man,
my thing
people
is,
are weird,
well,
man.
no,
You
but my
convicting
thing
people with
is
no
this:
proof.
if he did these things, and let's just be real, if he did them, somebody in his camp knew he was doing it. Why aren't they being held accountable as well?
Go back.
And then you've got to realize
Hey, look,
that the
they
lawyer.
raided his house. They raided his house and they came up with no evidence. So what are you saying, Jay? If they had the evidence, they would have already spoke on it, brother.
Not really. Now, give
Well,
him a few weeks.
Look,
Not
look,
really. They got
no,
they
look
have
what
to
he
do
said. Look what he
the proof.
said. They raided his house. They trying to get proof.
Yeah,
How can you say someone's guilty if you have no proof
Well,
and
here's
just
the
saying that
thing.
they're guilty?
Here's the thing. Let's look at it like
That's
this.
the
They raided his
thing about
house.
you. That's the thing about us black men. You know what I'm saying? We're guilty until we're proven innocent when it shouldn't be like that.
Right.
They
Right.
they raided
Exactly. That's
his
right.
house when he wasn't there in both houses. They made sure of that, and they were looking for specific things. If they were looking in his computers and their phones and all that, their electronics, it takes days to figure out what's what and what's what. So this may not end until the end of the middle of next month.
Well, you got to realize they have all his cloud information
Yes.
on all the. They basically, here's what it
Look,
is. Y'all want to know how?
man,
Y'all want to
listen.
know how deep this rabbit hole goes? These smartphones, I'm gonna tell you, they record everything you do.
They sure do. That's why
Man,
some
look,
people.
Everything.
y'all are being weird to me right now. Y'all are telling me that if someone says, "Hey, this person did that to me," whether
Yeah.
it's true or not, your house and your everything should be rated. That's what you
No,
guys are telling me right
No,
now.
no,
no,
that's
no,
not
no,
what
no,
we're.
no, no, no,
That's
no.
not what we're saying at
No,
all.
no. We're
That's not what
saying
we're
that
saying at
he
all.
had a grudge with somebody in power, and
Yes.
somebody in power says, "I'm gonna show you." Now it could have
How
been a
much power you don't have?
corporation. Remember, he went after that corporation and sued Ciroc.
Yep.
So,
Now,
so Jay, that's what you're saying. Jay, you're saying because he was accused of some things that his house should have been raided and that he's guilty because he was accused. Because we
Well,
don't know
we
if it's true or
I
not.
didn't say he's guilty. We started off the
I'm saying
program
Jay.
saying
I'm talking about
alleged.
Jay.
okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm talking
here's
about
my
Jay.
thing. Here's my thing.
yeah.
Whether he is innocent or guilty has to be proven in a court of law, not the court of public opinion.
Right.
However, I believe, and this is just me, because the first thing that came to my
Mm-hmm.
mind when this all came up was, who did this man make angry? He had to make
Yeah.
someone angry for them to go this far. So now we have so we know that he sued this liquor corporation, and they settled. They settled. So this could be the aftermath. Well, you want to do this, and we're the one that made you like this. We were. You have to understand, when you dig in some people's pockets, they can become relentless. Now, listen, we was
Vicious.
raised around these people, so we
Yeah.
know when you dig in their
Trust
pockets
me.
and you start messing with their money,
Yes, sir.
they can
Yeah.
become really relentless.
Speak on it, cuz.
And they will go at you and they will get you if they want you, no matter what it takes.
Yep.
And what they call him, Uncle Luke, he even said that in one of his, in a TikTok that I
Yep.
saw. He said, when you go against the grain, you can't just go against the grain all the time. And when you think that you're up high and you look like us, basically, and you go against the grain, there's gonna be a punishment.
And if it came to
Hey
being
Jay,
a
how do we know that they don't? A lot of those people don't like him because he cut their money supply off.
well,
And it could be true.
I mean, if that was going to be the money that you put in somebody's, what do you call it? That to basically keep
I
What's
them
up, y'all?
for their
How you
grandkids
doing?
and
okay.
Yo,
have
but
them,
a lot of people
for the
understand on
generations
his
down the
organization.
line.
They know his secrets already. They know what he's about.
Yep.
Even his own
Yeah,
security
because they were
guards
there with
threw
him.
him out to the boom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Captain
okay, Jay.
Williams threw him out to the boom. You gotta
Okay,
tell
Jay.
the truth,
Those
man.
people that was in his camp that know his secrets, Jay. Those people that is in his camp that knows his secrets. Those are grown people that was there doing what they were doing. So if they
Thank
had
you.
an issue with what was going on, why they didn't say it and stand up for themselves then
Puts him,
versus
puts him in sex
waiting
fighting like
until
that's like
bro,
gaslighting. He
let me
puts him in
finish
certain
up, bro. Let
situations
me
and
finish. Bro,
he
allow
shuts
me to
them down.
finish, bro.
That's a
Bro,
gaslighter,
allow me to
bro.
finish, bro.
Time out, guys. Time out.
I'm not
Allow me
Hey,
to
let me
finish,
go.
arguing. I'm not
bro.
arguing at all.
Hey,
I'm
if
I
not
we
know. I'm
get
just
cut
asking you to
off,
allow me to finish.
listen, guys. If we get cut off for any reason, I'll boot right back up, and we can continue this conversation. But
all right,
real quick,
bro.
this is T with TEEDY on Slide Radio Uncut, and me with my co-host, my cousin Reginald, our guest
Cop.
Lando, and Jay.
Hey,
Reginald, this is Lando and
What's
Jay.
up,
Hey, look,
hey,
bro?
when
Lando,
things
Jay,
like this,
how y'all
when
doing?
things like this happen, when things like
All
this happen, how y'all doing, everybody? You know what I'm
right.
saying?
What's
Look,
cracking?
I ain't selling myself for them.
things like this happen, when things like this happen, it don't make
So
you
you
say
telling me
what made this adult.
You gotta talk one at a time so we can hear each of you, okay? Because we can't hear if we're gonna talk one at a time. Lando, go ahead and finish.
I'm saying when things like this happen, it don't make you think like why did this adult not stand up for themselves then, or
Yeah.
are you just saying that
Because
your
he got
money
too
supply
caught
got cut
in
off
his
and now
shit,
you
bro.
want
That's why he does it.
Hold,
What do you
hold
think?
on for a second.
As
It's
a
the
narcissist
game.
who put you on the
It's the
cover and then
game
tell
they
you you ain't
play.
gonna
I'm
say
telling
shit
you,
because they got this
deflect.
on you.
It's the
Okay, everybody
game.
can't talk at one time. So here's the thing.
I
I get
love
That's
your
why a
this.
question.
narcissist does that shit.
I get your question, Lando.
I
And you
love
say
this.
because he
I
and
love this.
Jay,
I love this.
Jay, you're saying because he's a narcissist?
Yeah, he crazy. You gotta be a
Yeah.
crazy mother effort to do that. Like crazy. Like just trying to put
Bro,
somebody on the cover like you God. You're not God, bro. You didn't make me. But then he has
Jay,
that
you heard
over
these
you that
things.
you can't really say nothing.
Bro, you heard
Yo,
these
you
things.
heard
You
the
don't
thing
even know if they're
of
true or
Ja
not.
Rule coming out the damn butt naked and his own freaking his people that he was like having him watch his back coming on. He's like, yo, what the hell's going on? He's in there, he's ripping it out. You know, he's telling everything. So is Cat Williams. So is everybody else.
Well, yeah. I
Well,
mean,
Hope,
Just
you might.
they're
because
now.
you got
They
power
Let's
had
and
be
money,
now.
real.
doesn't make
Here's
you
here's the
God.
situation. The attorneys that he
Yep.
had
All the
came
women
to
that
Diddy and
happened,
said,
come
"Hey,
on, bro. You throwing them under
they've
the
got
bus.
so much
Illuminati.
weight
Yep.
on you that either if they try in the court, they got you dead to rights, brother. You
Yes.
could either
Facts.
you could either plead out, or
Now they
you could
taking him down like they
if
took
they
off
try
Kelly
you in the
though.
court, they're trying to take it all away.
So
So
let's just
basically, they
say this
backed him in a
too.
corner.
Let's just say
Facts.
this too. We do know that in a court of law, you can't be tried twice for the same thing. So if
Wrong,
they
bro.
cannot,
Yeah,
if they
double
have
jeopardy.
solid evidence,
Yeah.
they can't just say, okay, we got this right here. It has to be solid evidence that he did
Yep.
something wrong.
Yeah.
Because they
It
Like
has
a
to
house
be.
of
can't just make
cards.
up, because it, they can't get a warrant and say, well, we're
They
arresting you
shouldn't
for
have
X,
said
Y,
it
and Z
online though. They
if
should
they
have
don't
just
have the
went
evidence.
him right
Well,
away.
even if it is lies, they've got a sprinkle of lies and truth. So what they try to do is set that foundation
Well,
and say,
how
okay,
many
this
people?
is
How many
what we
people gotta
got
say
on
it
you.
before it's the truth?
Yeah,
Because a lot of people said that.
yeah.
It's not amount of people who have to say it. It has to be proven that it's at least one person. What that one person is saying is true. It don't matter how many people. You know what I'm saying? One person can tell a lie, and 100 other people hear that lie and believe it, and those 100 other people can tell that same lie, thinking that they just heard the truth.
Well, that's the difference between circumstantial and actual. Somebody
So
has
they,
to have hard proof for an attorney general
There
or
you
somebody, a judge, to sign off on that warrant
He's
and
smart.
say, this is what we're going to do. They can't just play games and run it up in somebody's house without a
yeah, you
tangible warrant that's been
gotta
signed
have,
by
Without
a
yeah,
warrant
judge.
or
you have to have
anything else,
evidence.
yeah, that's actually the truth.
And even if they don't have the concrete evidence, they got to know where to look for it. They
Yep. Somebody
can't
has
just,
it
when you get a
stitched.
warrant to somebody's house, you get a warrant for specific things,
That's why they hit
clauses.
multiple houses at the same time,
Yep.
just to
Yeah.
check for what's going on.
Exactly. Yes.
So we can
That's the
all
truth.
say that we hope this is not true, that we hope he didn't do
Yeah.
anything. But the
Nah,
fact is,
but the
if
way
he
he treated
did,
people during the I say you could tell he's a sideways dude, and nobody want to go to P Diddy's house on a party.
Well, 100
Everybody
people
tell the
would be
devil.
wrong.
Even
So
Denzel Washington
if
said, "Get out of
nobody,
that
if
house
nobody
before the
wants,
devil get there."
if
100
nobody
people with
wants
different
to go,
opinions
why we
can't
got
be
all these
wrong.
allegations?
He said that
Yeah.
literally.
If nobody wanted to go to his party, why do we have all these allegations?
because people
I mean,
go to
they
his
go to his
parties.
party just to have a
Exactly.
good time, but it turns weird at 3 a.m.
Because they want the bag, brother. They want the
Well, I
bag.
was gonna say this
They
too, and
think
let's
they
be
get close to
realistic.
him and then they can get the bag too.
Shit,
That's
even
what I was gonna say.
Justin
Let's be
Bieber was weird,
realistic. A
acting weird
lot
with
of people
him,
that go to
man.
his
How you
parties,
got a Justin Bieber and Usher was weird? Like I ain't never gonna send my kid to P Diddy's party.
yeah, that's what he said. That's what Usher said. He
Yep.
said, "I will never send
Am
my
I wrong
child there."
about that?
No,
Hey,
you're
I would
not.
never send my
You
kid.
on P
I
Diddy's
would
side,
never
bro. I
send
already
my
know.
kid to some of the parties that I went to, but that don't mean that they was that
Shit,
type of
you
parties.
want a butt plug?
I don't want my
You go to
kids.
P Diddy's
It's a
house.
lot of
Even
things
50
that I
Cent
don't
Okay,
said
want
it, bro.
other young
Man,
okay,
Aaron
kids to do.
Hall, you know Aaron
50
Hall,
okay,
Cent
guys.
said
Check
that
this
too.
out.
Guy.
Check this out,
You
though.
know
Let's
Aaron
be
Hall.
realistic.
Have y'all heard of Aaron Hall from Guy? You know Teddy Bryan
Yeah,
with them guys. Aaron Hall
yeah.
said it on his look.
Yeah, he
Check
said,
it
I
out on
love
TV.
Eric Ross.
Aaron
And he was
Hall said
trying to
they
get
used to
with
sit
that
on the
we in party,
couch
yo.
One at
and watch
a time, guys.
P. Diddy. They used to sit on the couch and watch Jamie Foxx and all them dudes get down. Watching them
Yup.
butt naked
They
up in the
had
So,
butt naked
house.
but
fucking
okay, so
basketball
hold
and
up for a
shit. That's
second.
some weird
And that's the
shit, bro.
truth. I saw it come out of his mouth.
So hold on for a second,
gross.
guys. Hold on for a second, guys. We have to understand, though, watching two men have sex is not a crime.
That shit is nasty.
Rubbing two men to have sex is a crime.
But look at the influence, cuz. Look at the influence. I'm not saying it's a crime to watch and be a voyeur, but I'm saying if all of a sudden, I mean, if that person's watching it, what's the possibility of them creeping in? I'm not saying he did it, but I'm saying if you got 100 people in the room and they all got different stories and they all circle around that one specific subject, can they all be wrong?
Nah, but
yes.
even Jimmy Fox said that shit on the show. He said they were having like basketball naked. Okay. What the fuck is wrong with that?
Hold on, Lando.
That's weird. If it's shorties with me, I'm like, all right.
Okay, Jay, hold on for a second. Jay, hold on for a second.
I'm straightening a motherfucking arrow, bro.
Hold on, Jay, hold on for a second. Lando, you said, what did you say? He said, can they all be wrong? What did you say?
I think 100 people, 100 different stories be wrong. But
okay, so Lando said, yes, they can all be wrong.
For the simple reason I just
said. Hold on, coming out with freaking stories is not even funny.
We gotta speak
how they all
one at a time, or the listeners won't hear us right. So Lando, go ahead and finish.
Even his own security guard told her that. The security guard
don't know how to hold no conversation.
Coming out the damn thing.
Hold on, Jay. Hold on, Jay. Lando, what did you say?
Nasty, bro. That shit's nasty.
Hold on, Jay.
I don't give a shit.
Lando, what
I ain't playing sword fight. Fuck out of here.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Lando?
They can all be wrong for the simple fact one person can tell the lie and the other 100 people can believe it and just spread it out.
No,
that's how they can all be wrong,
brother. 100 different stories that they're told differently by 100 different people in the same room. Different stories.
Bro.
Yeah.
Listen, this is how okay, this is how that goes. You remember the little
Hollywood.
You remember the little thing that you remember the little thing that people used to say?
Jay.
You tell one person and they tell another person, and by the time it gets to the end, the story be done changed.
Yes.
Okay. But I'm saying it's all in the room at the same time. You got 100 people going up one at a time saying this instance, this date, and this place, and they're all different places, but they all come back to say somebody.
It's like saying R. Kelly's not guilty.
Okay, so let me say this.
See, this right here, this right here, do I want to say and clear up right here. I'm not saying neither one of those guys are guilty. Only thing that I'm saying is before we say that they're guilty or not, let's have the evidence, the proof. That's all I'm saying.
Well, R. Kelly had a lot of evidence because he taped a lot of stuff, which I don't understand why people keep taping stuff. But he taped a lot of things. He just got away with a lot of things. But the fact that he got away with it lets me know that there was someone else keeping it a secret. And that's my problem with it, is the fact that there are people keeping things secret to go along with whatever's going on so they keep their pockets full.
Yeah.
That's my problem. If these things are true, let me just say this one more time. If these things are true, why are we not holding those who know about it accountable and who are not saying anything? Why are we not holding them accountable?
Those are the people that's a threat to the people. Those people are they're not a threat to the people. They don't have lawsuits against these people. They're not billionaires. They're not something for another black person to look up to and, you know what I'm saying, try to strive for what that black person got. They're not them. That's why.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
That's why I don't think we should be kicking each other while we're down. We need to be helping each other, bro. That's the craziest thing in the world.
Okay, so here's my thing. Here's my thing. Because when it comes to adult behavior, I believe that adult behavior is adult behavior. Anything outside of rape or being drugged, that whoever did whatever in his house is their business. However, the only thing that I say is that when it comes to children, now we've all heard Usher say, "I would not let my child go back there." One of the questions that was asked to him was when you were 13, were there women? And he said, "I didn't say there wasn't." So My thing is maybe look at it more on the fact that if there's children around, he needs to be looked at, because if he's allowing children to do things that they shouldn't be doing, or if he's
Okay,
doing
let
it
me
with the
ask you this
children
right here.
himself,
Let
that's
me
my
ask you
problem
this
with
right
things.
here. Let me ask you this right here. Did you party when you was 22 years old?
A 22-year-old is not a child. That's an adult.
I
Usher
just
was
asked you a
13.
question. I didn't ask you what a child. I didn't ask you was no child 22 years old. I said, did you party when you was 22 years old? That was
Not
my
not
question.
not
I
a
don't know
lot,
where you
but
got.
not a
I
lot.
don't know
No.
why you got what you saying.
Huh?
Did you party? Did you party when you was 22
Yeah,
years
I
old?
mean some, but not a lot. No. Ask my cousin.
Okay,
He'll tell you I wasn't allowed to. Go ahead.
okay, but you did party.
Every now and then, yes.
Okay, those parties that you went to, would you allow your child to
I
go to at
didn't allow my child to go
14?
to parties like that.
Okay, you
I,
tell.
what
Why is this
I'm
gotta be?
saying is,
Why does this have to be so difficult? I'm just asking questions.
listen,
Just answer the
I would
question.
not
Yes, I
allow my
would.
brother,
No,
child.
I
Let me
wouldn't.
just say
brother,
this real
brother,
quick.
brother.
I will not
Basically, if I
allow my
went to a
child
party,
to go to a party.
oh,
Period.
Okay,
okay,
now,
cool. Let me speak.
so what is different than what you said and what Usher said?
If I went
Usher
to a
said he would not
party,
allow his child to go to one of P.
And
Diddy's parties.
you just said you wouldn't allow your children to go to the party that you go to, that you
No, I
went to.
wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. You're right.
Okay, then so what is the difference between what you said and what Usher said?
Because
Why is what he said
because
so
Usher was an
detrimental?
actual. Let me finish, please. Usher was an actual child that saw some things he shouldn't have been seeing. Usher was
Oh
an
my
actual child
goodness, Lord
that
have
was
mercy.
doing
Do
some
you
things he shouldn't have been doing at 13 years old.
see what you're not understanding is that you're saying the same thing, but because your mind has been clouded with some negativity about a person that you don't know nothing about, you're looking at it totally different. You're saying that even though the things that your mind has been clouded with did not happen at the parties that you went to, you still wouldn't allow your children to go to the same parties that you went to. Why can't Usher be saying the same thing and those things that our minds have been clouded with not have happened?
Because he said they did happen. He said,
He did not say they happened. He just said, I
"Oh, he
seen some
did
things.
though. Have you seen the
He
entire
said, I
interview?"
seen some curious things. He never said that he was touched.
They
Justin Bieber
asked
never said that
him.
he was touched.
They asked him if there was ever a female brought to him. Basically, someone sleep.
And what was his answer?
His answer
Verbatim.
was they said, "So you never saw that?" He said, "I didn't say that." He said I didn't say that didn't
Okay
happen.
then. Okay then. I didn't say that, but I'm not saying that it did. I just said I didn't say what you
He
just
said
said
he
I
didn't
said.
say it didn't happen. He said I didn't say it didn't
Okay, but he
happen. So
didn't
I'm
say
your
that it did
video.
happen.
well,
You just assumed.
first of all, we're all casting aspersion here. Okay, so we're not trying him. We're just saying that's why we said
Yes,
alleged at the
we
beginning of
are.
the show.
We're trying
Actually,
him.
I'm
We're
not.
trying him.
Well,
Actually,
We're
I'm
trying him,
not.
and we're trying him because of what our minds have been clouded with. You made you came to the conclusion that some things happened with a woman to Usher, and he was a kid because he didn't give you the answer that you wanted to hear.
Okay,
You
let me
didn't hear
back up. So
yes it did.
let
You
me
didn't hear no it didn't.
allow me to back up so you can understand my point of view.
No, allow you to back up so you can make your point clear. Because I understood you
Okay, so
clearly
allow
by what you
me to
said.
back up so you can understand my point of view. My
I
point of
understand what
view,
you said.
let me finish, please. My point of view as a mother is, let me finish before you say anything. As a mother of 9 children, is number one, I would never, and I'm going to say this again, have given guardianship to a perfect stranger for my child. I would have never done that. These parents who do that and then don't be around to see what's going on in their child's life, and then stuff happens to their child, something's wrong with the parent, first of all, because you being famous doesn't mean that much to me. And it shouldn't mean that much to your child, because there are children, and it's not just quote unquote Diddy. I just watched last week a whole documentary where children were mistreated by a producer from Nickelodeon, and one of them was sexually abused at 13, 15, whatever age he was, by another man in the 90s. My thing is, are we not learning anything? We have people come up. Drew Barrymore came up. Brooke Shields came up and said some things were done to her in Hollywood. We're just allowing people to do things to our children. Now, when adults have sex, where there are no drugs involved, where no one is being forced to do anything they don't want to do, that's an adult sexual experience. I don't care if you have an orgy with 12 different people. If everybody is a willing participant, I don't care. That's them. However, I have said from the moment I got on here, these are accusations. We cannot put this man in jail. We cannot keep this man out of jail. Whatever they have on him, or they think they have on him, or they're trying to find to accuse him of, or to go along with the accusations that have already been made by other people, that will be up to the courts to decide. However, when it comes to children, I do not believe you leave your children in a position where they're defenseless.
Sustain.
That's it. That's all I'm saying. I cannot say if he
now.
did it or not. That's not my issue. That has never been my issue. And I did my story last week. I did my show last week on the Nickelodeon show. And those were a lot of white kids. The black kids were mistreated because they were black, basically. Though some of the white kids were molested. Careers were totally destroyed because their moms or dads wouldn't play ball with the guy from Nickelodeon. So, I mean, it's not a Diddy thing to me. It's what we are allowing to go on in our lives. If this woman, if his ex-girlfriend said for 10 years he drugged me, you stayed there for 10 years. I'm sorry. You're an adult.
It's a pedophilia culture.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a
that's
culture.
That's all I'm talking
about. Bring in all of this deviance, and if we co-sign on it and say it's okay, then heaven help us.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's guilty of anything. I'm saying if he is guilty, where are the people that were there watching?
Hey, I grew up on Diddy. I mean, I know he worked with Andre Harrell in Harlem for Uptown Records. He started off, I mean, he was a cool dude. You know, I mean, he went to Howard University. You know, I'm just saying that I'm not going to try Diddy. I'm just saying allegedly, if he's guilty, then
he's guilty,
then let justice be served. But if he's not, then heaven help him. Somebody's standing for him and trying to set the man up. And that's what I'm saying. And, you know, my thing is, yes, we as a black people have been oftentimes guilty and stockpiling our own when we don't have all the facts. Crabs in the barrel, you know, unfortunately, we've been turned against each other. This is what this country has done from us for hundreds of years.
Yes.
They've had us fighting against each other. We had to stand out there today. Lou Gossett, you know, transitioned. But he played fiddler in Roots. And he had to sit up there and beg the master to not whip him. And they had all of the slaves out there watching that man fight for his own name, Kunta. He was strong. He says, I'm not gonna give in to that. He said, no, your name's Toby. He said, my name's Kunta. And they cut his flesh open in front of all of them because they wanted to seal that in their mind.
100%.
And say, hey,
they always try to divide.
If you go against, this is what we're going to do.
Divide the board. Like, let's say you're playing chess, right? And you're the king, and your queen move anywhere, and you're doing everything, and you grinding left and right, and they always try to divide the queen from the king because the queen is strong too, but you king.
Yes,
they try to take out the king to destroy the board.
Yes,
this is life, bro. But that's how they move in life.
Exactly.
They take out the strongest one to take out the rest.
I love that. I love that metaphor. That metaphor is beautiful, cuz.
Facts, bro. I live
Jake,
that life,
was
man.
Nice.
I live that, so I got this chat like this. I literally live that life. They always try to take out the king.
Yeah.
Chaos a king
I
because
mean,
he's
I mean,
strong. So
Lando,
he's
brother.
mentally strong.
Lando, I understand you, brother. I understand your passion, brother. I understand what you're saying.
No, so do
It's just that
I. Yeah.
this is
God
what
bless.
we need. This is the stuff that we need is to sit at the table and have these discussions. I'm telling you, this is what we need. We need this desperately.
It's true.
Styles on Wheels, what's up?
They try to
It's
divide us by skin, how we
yes.
relative, how we like, who racial, who's this. Nah, it's good over evil for
Yes,
me. I don't even
sir.
see color no more.
Yes.
I see black and white. Like, you good? I'm with
Yep.
you. You bad? I'm not.
Yep.
Simple
All
as
right,
that,
hold on,
bro.
I
guys.
like that.
I want to thank everybody
Simple
for
as
joining
that.
us today. This is
I
Tea
didn't
with
know
Tea
what black
on.
was until I was like, I didn't know what African American was. Puerto Rican was when I was 13.
Hey,
I was
hold
like,
on
what?
for a minute, guys. Hold on for a minute, guys, because we
I
can't all
love
talk at
people
one
that's
time.
just
So
good.
give me a second.
That got
So you're
heart.
listening to Tea with TD on Slide Radio Uncut. Thank you guys for joining us today. We are talking about Diddy, guilty or not guilty. He has
Oh,
to
he's
be
guilty.
guilty
He's definitely
in the
guilty.
court
I
of
did.
law and
Yeah.
not in public
Yeah,
opinion.
he's guilty.
Let me repeat
I
this.
believe
Diddy has to
he's
be
guilty
found
though.
guilty in a court of law and not in the court of public
I mean, he had
opinion.
so
Yeah,
many
we got
cases
a
over
whole
him.
court with him. We
So
got a whole court with him.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that dude's
if
guilty
we
like
want
a
to be
mother.
a nation that's elevated and we want to be a nation that functions at a high
Justin Bieber
level, then we've
don't
got a
like him.
whole court,
Anybody don't
not
like him.
trying in
Usher
public
don't like
opinion.
him.
Yeah.
let
I
me
mean,
say
anybody that
this
went under
real
his
quick.
wing
Let me say
dies
this
off.
real.
Don't you notice?
Let me say this real quick.
What up?
So let me just say this real quick. Everyone has their own opinions about if he's guilty or not. Everyone has their own opinions about what
God,
should be done with, hold on please, what should be done with him and what shouldn't be done with him. But the fact of the matter is these are only our opinions.
Yeah.
He has not
like
been proven
Kelly,
guilty of
the
anything.
rapist,
He
bro.
has been accused of things. And even his ex-girlfriend, you cannot even say he did that to her because it was settled out of court.
Well, like the Salem
I
witch
wonder why it was
trials,
settled out of court
everybody that
because
they
he knows
burned
he
in the
was
Salem
guilty.
witch trials wasn't
Don't
a
you
witch.
see that?
You know,
Well,
they burned some people that they thought just because they were smart
yes,
that they were witches, but they weren't. So I'm saying sometimes,
Right.
you know, like you said earlier, let's not try everybody in, you know, public opinion court.
no, we cannot.
Let's try them in court. Let's be elevated and let's stay on a
Yeah,
high
exactly.
level.
He was settled out of court because he know he was guilty. Why would you settle out of court if you're not guilty?
Sometimes people settle out of court because they don't want to go through the hassle.
Right.
I've known people who have
Once
been
in the
sued.
blue, but how many times it happened to him?
Well, but I mean, I've known people, a person who has been sued and they settle out of court just to keep from going through the hassle.
Well, maybe
But
they didn't want to drag their kids into that.
yeah,
Or maybe they
yeah.
didn't want their mother or
That's
father or
That's
relatives
facts.
having to hear
Yeah.
all that. You
So
know?
there are reasons for people to settle out of court.
Yeah.
But
come on, 50
I
Cent
played
accusing
guilty.
him,
I
Cat Williams
myself
accusing
played
him,
guilty to charges
everybody
that
that
I
went to his
wasn't
parties
guilty of.
accusing
didn't
him.
talk at one
They know
time.
what
One
he
at a
did
time,
already.
guys. Hey,
They
one at a
just didn't
time.
say
What'd you say, Lando?
literally.
Hold on.
What
One
happened?
at a time. What'd you say, Lando?
I said I don't myself pled guilty to charges to a charge that I wasn't guilty of.
Yeah. So people have their reasons for pleading guilty or taking a lesser sentence. I mean, I've known people to do that
and
too.
that all comes back to due process.
Yes.
Makes
Even
sense.
if you're guilty, you still have the right to due process
Copy.
and not have your rights violated.
Yeah.
Now, mind you,
I
if you
understand
have
that.
a smart attorney, he's saying or she's saying, okay, even if you're guilty, what's the thing that I can negotiate
Exactly.
to get you the lesser sentence? If you're dead to rights guilty.
That's only if
Okay?
you're guilty.
Because some
Copy.
people say, hey, I'm going to fry you. Whereas to say, okay, you know, based upon maybe your community activities and maybe, hey, if you play restitution and give back some money or do something, maybe we can, you know, say 15 years, you know.
Just
So
last year,
Fuck that.
I'm
ain't
just
doing 15
using
years for
that as an
nothing. I ain't doing.
illustration, you know.
Fuck that.
just last year, I pled
Everybody,
guilty to a DUI and I don't even drink.
Yeah.
So we know that sometimes people plead guilty or settle out of court to keep from the hassle, right? We can all agree on that.
Sure.
Yeah,
We can all
but
agree on
like there's literally so many people coming at him at one time. You really think he's not guilty?
Well, this is all deflection. While everybody's deflected on Diddy, trust me, they're looking up something else, whether it's deflecting attention off of number 45 Trump.
That's like
Trump
praising the
case,
devil. I
Hey,
want to be part of the devil. I want to go to hell later. You crazy?
Okay, hold
Jay,
on,
let me
hold
ask
on,
No, but
you
hold
what
this,
I'm
on.
Jay.
saying, listen,
What's the
guys.
question, bro?
This is one of the games they
Yeah,
play. You know,
yes.
they play the deflection game. Whenever they want to take the shine off of something else,
They
they
put it
use
on
another
somebody else.
situation.
Well,
So all
I mean, okay.
everybody's
I know
looking at
how
Diddy.
Hollywood works,
Yep.
bro. They wear like
Let me
that.
say.
That's Illuminati. That's how they do.
Yeah.
White people.
Let
Jay,
me
let me ask
bounce
you a
Yeah.
question.
off.
Yeah.
Hold
Yeah.
on.
They
Let
do.
me
You think
bounce
I'm
off
born?
what my
You thought I was
cousin just
born
said.
yesterday? I already know.
I know you do, brother.
Let me bounce
I
off
hear
what
it.
my cousin just said.
Abracadabra,
Today,
motherfucker. We could do Hollywood all you want. I'm a
Jay,
ghost.
That's the
Jay, hold
games they
on for a
play
second.
against us.
Everyone, hold on for a second. Let me bounce off what my cousin just said. Today,
So,
the top stories
and they
in
don't even accept
today.
our
Jay,
blood
hold on.
color.
Jay, hold on. The top stories in the news today were Diddy, the boat that hit the bridge, the ship that hit the bridge, the election, and the war.
Did y'all hear about those cops in Quebec that
I
drive
heard about all
that
that. The
drag
boy that
that
hit the
brother with the
bridge.
locks on the ground?
No,
Oh,
see, but that's the
oh
top.
my God!
The
Check it
top
out.
four. The top four news things was Diddy, the ship that hit the bridge,
Yeah.
the election, and the war. That was the top things on CNN today so far. So
Right.
I'm just saying there's something going on. Like he said, they're deflecting.
Yep.
We all know this happens.
Yep.
Yep.
So there's something else going on that they don't want us
At
to
the
know
same
about.
time.
I mean, a meteor could be coming down that's crashing the earth right now. We
Yeah,
don't
why
know.
Well,
you think they got underground bunkers right now? All these
You see
famous
what I'm
people.
yeah, the
saying? So
We
there's
going
bullets are
something
supposed
else
to be
that's
coming
going
God.
out
on.
the ground, and then they're going to turn on. Have y'all heard of CERN? CERN over in Switzerland.
All of a sudden
They
everything
have
gonna
this
shut down.
big old portal that's miles long that they said they're going to open up on that day when the eclipse comes.
Yep.
Basically, what they're trying to do is bring something through it. I know it sounds crazy, but they're trying to bring something through this portal that nobody knows. It's way over in Switzerland underground. It's called,
They're always
check it
there
out. It's called CERN.
everywhere. So
CERN. It's CERN. Look it up. I'm telling you, they said they're going to open this thing that they've been working on for years that basically functions at the speed of light. And I'm telling you, that, you know what it's made for. I don't know, but I know that they've
It's over the portals, bro.
experimenting on
That's what
us.
it's made for.
Oh yeah.
Okay, can I ask Jay the question
yes,
now?
go ahead and ask Jay a
I'm
question.
waiting.
Jay, do you not think that everybody who's making up these stories want the same deal Cassidy got? Or Cassie, or however you say her name?
Cassie.
Cassidy Ventura,
Yeah,
the one that
that's the one that just he settled out of court with her case.
For like
Yes,
30
don't
something
you
million
accept
dollars
I
in
the
honestly
2 days.
believe,
$30 million?
that P
yeah, you
Diddy did what
don't
she
settle for
said he
$30
did.
million unless
It
somebody
Well,
wasn't
pays
about
you.
no,
the money.
they didn't tell what she
I think
settled for,
he drugged
but
people because everybody's saying that. I mean, if 100 people say that, it can't be right. Like that's just wrong, bro. Come on, bro.
Let's just
He'll
say
drug you
something's
too.
out there.
let
Something's
How
out
many
let
there.
me say this
people
real
said
quick.
that already?
Let me
Yeah.
say this real quick.
It ain't about
Hey,
the money no
listen,
more. I don't give a
listen.
fuck. I don't
Hey,
want no
listen.
money. I just
Listen.
want
Check
revenge
this
after
out.
that.
One at a time, guys.
Check
One
this
at a
out.
time.
Check this out. I don't know if any of y'all, hey, y'all
You
chill
know how
out back
many
there,
times we
please.
had people on video, even with
Y'all
the
Hold
just
on,
making
talking
noise
the
for no
Jay.
interview,
Hold on for a
Man,
second.
whatever.
this is fun. I love this
Me
conversation. I
too.
love this round
Jay,
Yo,
table.
hold on for a second. Go ahead,
I don't
Lando.
know. I don't know if any of y'all know anything about the way the justice system goes. But what they use is when you go to trial, they use, you know what I'm saying, people, peers of your community or whatever. So
Yeah,
when all this is
peers. Uh-huh.
all this that's going on, and people that are hearing this, they're people who are in this man's community.
Right.
These are the jurors that they're going to pick, and all their minds are tainted with what people are saying, accusations. You know what I'm saying? So now they can't go up there with, you know what I'm saying, with, a non-biased decision. They're all going to be saying what they've heard, how they feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm one of the jurors that say, you know what I'm saying, that he's not or he is guilty, what's going to happen to me? Is it going to be people, you know what I'm saying, picketing at my job, or are they gonna be trying to shoot me? What are my kids gonna be safe? This is weird, bro.
Well,
We
that's
already we already got our mind frame. We're already saying that he's guilty. We're already making other
Pretty
people
much
look at him as
you
being
already
guilty.
convicted him
Well, can
of a
you
crime that
imagine
he didn't
the
commit.
people
But
down in
there's so many
Arkansas
people doing
somewhere
the same
that
thing,
never
and
been
it's
around
kind of
black
hard not
One
folks?
to
at a
like
time, guys. You can't
know
hear you
that he
both.
didn't commit the crime.
Well, I'm saying,
Okay.
can you imagine somebody down in the Blue
Come
Hills
on, bro.
who's never seen a
I'm
black
sorry.
person in their whole
I
life?
know you're on
Hold
people
on,
only time.
Jay.
I get it.
Hold on,
Hey,
Jay.
all of them are bad. Try, have,
Okay, well
bench 'em.
let me say this. Let me say this.
Yeah.
I
As
get it.
a person who
Uh-huh.
has spent time on a jury, you have got to be mentally stable enough to be able to look past what you've seen and listen to the evidence. Now, unfortunately, Lando, you are correct, unfortunately, because there are people that cannot go past what they've heard
That's
and
true.
seen on TV. They're
True.
and I'm sure that 2 or 3 of them might be on the jury. I don't
Well,
know.
the district,
If
here's
it
how the
even
jury
goes
gets,
to
they have
trial.
to
I
pick,
don't think the district
cuz,
attorney is on the jury.
they have
Hey,
to pick the,
Talking about.
Jay,
here, let me speak, please.
Jay,
And
Hold
then
hey,
here's,
hold
how
on,
it
Lando.
works.
I just want to hear
The
it.
district, the prosecuting attorney
Right.
has to poll the jury first, and
Right.
Yes.
then the defense attorney has to poll the jury. In other
Right.
words, they bring in people
Right.
that they don't ask them whether or not they want to come in. They make you come in.
They make you come in. Yeah, you
And
don't have a choice.
then
Right.
they say, okay, they get so many of them and they sit them there and they say, okay, we're going to poll these guys and ask them certain questions. And they say, yay, I like this one, or no, you could be dismissed.
Exactly.
So
Right.
the prosecuting attorney goes first. They ask them a question, and then they already know in their head what they're looking for as far as an answer. And if they like what they hear, they say, keep this one. But then the defense attorney will come back and poll them and say, oh, I don't like them, let them go. So what they have
Yeah.
to do is have a consensus for the 12 or however many people they have in the jury before they set that jury for whoever the accused person's going to be. And that's if
Yes.
it's a trial. You know,
So
that's
we're really getting ahead of ourselves
Yeah.
because he hasn't even been convicted of anything.
No,
He hasn't been arrested for anything yet.
No.
He hasn't gone to trial for anything yet.
No.
All I'm saying is this.
I'm saying,
I
but
am
how many
not
people can accuse
accusing
you of
him
the
of
same
anything.
crime if it's not
hey,
real?
Jay, you keep saying that. Now let me give you one. What's the they made a movie about those they made plenty of movies of back in the days when you'd take a whole white community, convict a black dude of doing
Oh yeah.
something that he didn't do, and everybody will say it. The whole
Yeah,
town
they
will
made a
say, "Hey,
million
he
movies
did this,"
about that.
and
They
then
made
Oh,
a
come
million
on.
yeah,
movies
and
about
next
that.
to
I read
nothing.
a lot
You're
of books
probably
about that as
talking
well.
about Jim Crow. Do you think
That's
Yeah,
just
during
wrong,
that
man.
era,
That's
yeah.
wrong.
you think
That
you
was
would
a
have a
different
fair
area, though.
chance in
That
any?
was in the
I mean, you're
40s and
talking about
30s.
Klans people who would
You don't
walk
think that
around
still
with
happens?
That's
straws.
still
Hold on,
wrong.
guys, hold
Still
on.
going on.
One
I know
at
it's
a
still going
time,
on, man.
fellas.
They don't like
Hold
us.
on.
I know they don't
So
like
that
us
One at
because
a
our
time,
skin
so
color
fellas.
and
that
all
got an
that.
answer to your question right there, bro. That's the answer to your question
But I'm
right
saying
there.
you could be dead to
But I'm
rights,
saying, like,
innocent, and they
a
will
lot of
still
people
kill you.
are
Oh
saying,
yeah,
Look
they
like,
would.
100 people are saying
what
the
they
same
did to
shit.
Emmett Till.
Okay,
Look what they did to
so
him.
now,
They were
okay, so
saying
the
the
prime
same thing with
example,
Emmett Till.
the prime example of your question, of your
Why you
statement,
think
Lando,
he put
was,
R. Kelly in jail?
well, wait a
He
minute,
was
hold
wrong.
on,
He got
time out. The prime
convicted.
example of your statement is
Wrong.
the story of Emmett Till. They they didn't go to court with him. They just did it, just killed him. But there have been many black men
I
throughout
like
the
R. Kelly
years.
as an artist,
However,
but I ain't
hold
like what he
on.
did to the girls.
However, let me say this. However, no one that I know of, well, I will say this, Jay has already got his mind made up. My mind is not made up. I don't think my cousin's mind is not made up. Your mind, Orlando, is completely made up that he's innocent.
Oh man, why would you say that? Why?
Well,
See,
Cause
that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
you
Y'all
say
just
voting
this.
for
wait.
him, bro.
so
Have y'all
the
Let me
already?
guy's
let me
saying
finish. Let
freaking
me
he's
finish.
innocent.
Bush.
Let me finish. Let me defend myself. Why
Okay,
would
go
you
ahead.
say that? That's the problem with us now. We just assume things. I never ever said that.
What did you? So what
That
are you
never
saying?
came out of my
All
So
these
mouth.
what are
And
people
you
gonna
just
you
say
make.
that.
saying?
I'm saying, and I said it already, and I'm gonna say it again. Let's not convict people without the proof.
Yeah, but
Okay,
that's
well,
where they
let me
want to
say
go. But he
this.
knows how to
Let
burn
me say
proof, bro.
this.
We're convicted.
What proof do I
He
need?
hasn't even.
That's where
What proof
The
do I
you
need
brother
to
call a
see?
hasn't even been
narcissist.
charged. Listen,
But
the
what
brother
proof do
hasn't
I
even been
need
charged with any.
let me ask you
Go
Go
this:
ahead,
ahead.
what
Reginald.
proof do I need when in Rosewood, when that those folks, for sake of being discreet, those folks, that woman sit there and lie about that,
Yep.
about being raped by
Yep.
a black man, and they burned that whole town down.
Hey,
They killed everybody that looked like me. They lynched. They cut off their ears. They private
And you
bro,
know,
parts. They tore up that whole town because one person said that they got right, and then later on, she they knew she was lying, and then found out
there
she
you go.
was lying, and
There you
then
go.
and
bro,
then
is this a
Bill Clinton just granted restitution just a few years ago to the family
yeah?
for
That's a
all of
great
those
question to
people
come
that
on
was
here.
killed in Rosewood.
Hey, is this
Don't
a
tell me I know a vicious devil when I'm dealing with one.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
I
hey
know.
Lando.
is this a show or are we just talking? Because everybody's talking over
Yeah,
each other and
we
nobody's
have to
allowing
talk one at a time
allowing
with
nobody to
each other,
answer
and
their
this is
question
a
before
show.
they go. Oh Lord, I'm gonna quit talking.
This,
I'm gonna quit talking. Y'all just go ahead and do y'all
this
thing.
is a
Oh, I'm cool.
show,
I'm just here.
but
I can't tell.
but
I was trying to rebuttal to what was said to me,
but you
and then he just went and talking about something different. Everybody's talking over each other, and conversations is going everywhere. There's no show that operates like that. The only way
unfortunately,
for everybody to be heard is for one person to speak at a time.
unfortunately,
That's
you have been
that's
doing.
I'll be
Unfortunately,
quiet, brother. Say what you
you
got to
have been
say.
doing a lot of interrupting yourself. So
Say what
yeah,
you
You know,
got to
I'll be
say,
quiet.
and
Lando.
I
I'm
have
gonna listen.
said everyone talk one at a time,
I'm
several
sorry. My
times.
apologies.
I've said it several times. We cannot hear each other if we're talking over each other. So
okay. All right. Well, you said something about me. I was trying to rebuttal, but I just stopped and let
well,
let the brother talk.
you
But he
actually
was
did
saying something
rebuttal.
totally different. See,
You actually did rebuttal, and I understood your rebuttal.
okay, what did I
You
say?
said that you never said he was innocent. You said, but basically people are trying him before he even is arrested. Isn't that what you said? You said
Okay,
you didn't say he was innocent or guilty. Isn't that what you said?
yeah, and I don't understand what
So
made you even say that.
I heard what
I
you
don't
said.
understand. I don't understand what made you say that because you're the one who said that I said that.
Well,
I never said that.
what I said
No,
was,
you said exactly that.
can I finish talking? What I said was, I'm not accusing him of anything. My cousin's not accusing him of anything. Jay's mind pretty much is already made up and that he's guilty. You, however, never said you didn't think he was guilty, but I said it basically the way you're making it sound, you're saying that he's innocent already. You believe he's
See,
innocent. And
you see how
then
you.
The
let
rape.
me finish talking.
Even
And
Usher
then
said it.
I allow and then I allowed you to rebuttal against what I just said. I,
Okay, did you
I
see how you
allowed you to
just
say
went
what you
all?
had to say, and I
He's
listened.
not innocent. I was
You
just
know,
joking, bro. He's guilty, bro.
Oh, I know you said
look, you see how you just went around everything that you actually said, and you would
Dude,
not repeat yourself. You did
I
not.
Usher said
said,
that
and I
himself.
quote,
Usher said that himself. I
you
will
said
never
he
send my
hold
kid
on,
to P.
Jay.
Diddy camp.
Hold
I
on, Jay.
can't finish. I can't
I
finish what I was saying.
Yeah, go
said
I didn't
ahead. Go
interrupt
he
ahead,
you.
was
bro.
I didn't
guilty
interrupt you. I let you
or
finish what you were
innocent.
saying. What you said about me.
I said,
Even though you went around all around it, you said that you and your cousin was like they don't y'all don't have a clue. You know what I'm saying? You're not saying too much, but you, Lando, you have absolutely said that he is not guilty,
but I
and I
didn't say I
never
said
said
that.
that.
But I did
No,
not just say
you
that.
did not say you said that.
I did say
You did not say that. No, when you just repeated yourself, this is what you said. You said, Lando, you're not saying if he's guilty or not, but the way you're saying it makes me think that.
excuse me,
That's what you said
excuse me,
when you cleared yourself up.
excuse me.
But see, that's the thing. And that's what I was saying in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Before I was really interrupted. I was saying that that's crazy that we just assume things and go with them, and then that's what we go. If I wasn't here to if I wasn't here to, you know what I'm saying, to defend myself, you and everybody else that's listening here would automatically assume that I feel that they're innocent when that's not the truth. And
So
that's how accusations, and that's how everybody has the same story but tweaked a little different. That's why everybody's saying that will say that somebody's guilty because of what they heard, and it don't even be the truth.
Okay, now, so by me allowing you to state what you said and what you feel,
Can I say
I
something? Can I say something real quick?
I allowed you to correct me. I don't see the problem.
All right, can I say something real quick?
Yes.
It's like if 100 people are saying that you're guilty and they're giving you allegations and they got evidence on you and this, that, and the third, doesn't that kind of make you guilty?
No,
Am I
that
wrong?
does
See,
not make you.
100 people said that shit about you.
Okay,
Come
listen.
the
on, man.
thing is,
Even fucking
the
50
thing is
Cent
this
said
right
that
here,
shit
Jay.
about that dude.
The thing this is right here, Jay. To answer your question, nobody's coming with no evidence. People are just saying things. You haven't seen an ounce of evidence yet, bro.
That nigga's the real, bro. He's good at hiding his evidence.
But
Okay,
first of
then.
all,
So
you
that
guys,
means you can't convict him.
listen.
Well, they
You
can't
guys have
convict
to.
him. That's the problem.
Let,
That's the problem. That he got people under his body.
all
That's
right,
it. He's a
time
billionaire.
Oh
out.
But
man,
he,
Time
my
out
look
real
how many
goodness.
quick.
people he
Time
ripped
out.
off.
Everyone stop for a second.
He ripped off
You,
Biggie. He ripped off everybody, bro.
listen, time out, because we only talk one at a time. First of all, let me say
He ripped
this.
off mad people. He'll rip off your mama if he could. That dude don't give a
Jay,
fuck about nothing.
Jay, give me a second. Let me
But
say
it's
this.
the truth.
Jay, let me say this. There is no evidence that we see yet because
He's
nothing has
like the
been
real.
revealed yet.
Like that dude knows how to
No,
hide.
Jay, stop for a second.
All right.
No one has revealed any evidence yet. So it could be and it could not be. I'm not saying he's guilty or
So I don't
innocent.
give a fuck
That's
how much money he paid me. I
all
ain't
I'm
gonna be with
saying.
that motherfucker. I ain't never gonna be with that
But I
dude.
will
That's
say
weird.
this. If everyone has a problem with his sexual activity that's an
It's none of
adult, why
my
do you
business
keep
what he
going
does.
over there?
It's none
And
of
I
my business. But he be
said
sleeping with
that
little
plenty of
boys and
times.
shit. That's some weird
If
shit.
you
Don't you
have
think?
a problem with this man's sexuality, why do
I
why
got a
do you
problem
keep
when you
going to
raping
his
kids.
house? I don't
I got a
understand.
problem with I'll knock a motherfucker out for that.
All right. You guys, we're gonna wrap this
I'm
up because we have actually
sorry for
gone an
cursing.
hour and
Sorry for
38
cursing.
minutes.
Hey, thank you guys, man. I enjoyed this, and I was
This
just
is
gonna
funny
say that
as
everybody's
fuck though.
consenting. If
Yo, but
everybody's
I'm
a
sorry
consenting
for
You're
cursing.
fine.
adult,
I apologize
if
and all
Hold,
that.
you guys,
everybody's a
I talk one
consenting
at a time.
adult, then it's
Finish,
okay.
Reginald.
I was just
Thanks for
gonna
putting me
say,
up.
if
Appreciate you.
everybody's a consenting adult, hey, who am I to say otherwise?
That's why
As
I don't
long as
judge.
it's
I'm just
legal.
saying. I only say things when it comes to children or
Yeah,
drug
I got a
abusers.
problem with that. That's good.
I'm not understanding why these quote unquote celebrities, rich men, have to drug a woman to sleep with them.
That's what they
Either you're really bad
saying
at
right
having
now. That's the
sex,
claims on
well,
him.
either
That's what I'm saying
you're
about
really bad at having sex, or you're
it.
into some freaky stuff you know she gonna say no to.
Uh,
So listen, we're
I
gonna
would
wrap
never
this up.
in my life,
We're
in
gonna
my
wrap
life,
this
man.
up. This is Tea with TD on Slide Radio Uncut. We've actually gone an hour and 39 minutes today, guys. This has been one of my favorite shows. This is gonna go down as one of my favorites because I
hey,
love it that
all of you guys,
everyone
I
Legit.
has
love
their own
this.
That's TD right
opinions.
there. Let's get it.
Hey,
Everyone
Legend.
has their
Hey,
own
brother
opinions, and
Landau,
everyone is
man, we
allowed.
love you, bro.
We all
We
talking
love
our
you, brother.
opinions, you know what I'm saying?
Ain't
P.
like
Diddy
that
crazy, so
fire
that's
in you,
what I was
brother.
discussing about.
So thank you, fellas, for joining us tonight.
I love you.
Thank
And
you,
I will
sis.
see you guys on Wednesday on our Journey Show. And then I'll see you again next Friday at 7
All right,
o'clock.
Lando. All
Let's
right,
hope
Jake.
All right.
something fun or something more pleasant happens in the world this week so that we can
Amen.
go through and talk about that too. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
See you on
Peace
the
out.
next one.